we are going to, at the end of this video instruction, ask you to practice step 1 and step 2 for some time. We are going to then invite you back. So as part of the overview, you get a pause, right? There'll be a pause between this instruction and the next instruction. But we still want to give you a sneak peek into the next instruction, and that'll help you understand why it's important to do the first 2 steps for a while, and also help you understand what you'll do when you come back. Okay. And help you understand that you should keep your work all in one place. Okay, so after doing step 1 and step 2, you're going to come back and you are going to elaborate on important strengths. So you need to come up with some definition on your own for the word important, right? Is what's important to you? Is what's important to you that it comes up a lot? Is what's important to you that this strength consistently gives you positive moments, like, oh my gosh, every time I do this, I feel great? Is it important to you because it's in alignment with your value system? So when you come up with a way of determining what's important to you with regard to your strengths, which will just kind of emerge if you do enough of step 1 and step 2, then it's time to elaborate on those important strengths. And elaborate means almost the same thing as articulate. It means doing it more, find more words, make it more clear. Now, I want to give you an example based on my positive moment and strength example that you've already seen. I am a nature lover. So when I say I am a nature lover, it means something to me. And in my own mind, it's like, duh. A nature lover is a nature lover. But let me show you how that's not true. I have a brother-in-law who's also a nature lover. What does that mean to my brother-in-law? It means he loves to go deep into the wild woods with his gun and spend the night in a spidery cabin and get up early and shoot deer. Ugh. I hate that kind of nature loving. So it is important for me to clarify and elaborate what nature lover means to me. And interesting, I use my positive moments a lot as I'm elaborating on that strength. I am a nature lover means I love the flowers. I live in a temperate rainforest and there are flowers all the time. I feel very lucky about that. I look at them, I photograph them. I love the sound of rain. I love trees. And as I talk about it, I smile, you can see. And the more I elaborate on it, the better I feel. I hear birds now. I love the sound of birds. I love the smell of fresh air. These are the details about my particular nature loving. So you can see it means something different to me than what it means to my brother-in-law. Okay, so after you elaborate a few steps, a few strengths, you're ready for the next step, and Gerald's going to tell us about that.
Well, okay, the next step, you mean about elaboration?
No, the one about organization.
Oh, organization. Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, organize your elaborated strengths to articulate a positive identity. And the word top 10 is in parentheses there. Okay, that after you do this a while, they are just articulating strength steps 1 and 2, and you keep coming up with new strengths. The more you do it, you could go on for days, thinking of new strengths and so forth. But of course, we aren't going to spend all that time. We want to get just a few of them in mind and then work with them, the most important ones. And so so what you're doing after you've done it for a while, let's say you have 3 or 4 pages of strengths written out there in various ways, and you got that, and they're kind of unorganized. They're just, you've done them there, and now the idea is to try to organize them, and that means just simply taking one at a time and clearly describing what it is, and then find another one that's a little different than that one and describing what that is. And so you just get your list of them going, and actually if you have do it a while, you have maybe more than 10 different things, and maybe different pieces of paper you've written them on and all over the place. But now you've got to get them organized. And so you look over, you spread out your papers, and you look at all the strengths you've even thought about, and you kind of list them, and you say, okay, I've got this page now with just the names of the strengths all on one page. And maybe there are 10 there, maybe there are 8, or maybe there's 15. Anyway, you've got this list of strengths. And now the idea, it's kind of arbitrary, we say, at least, how about just try and get 10 good ones out of all you've got up there. And if you only got 9, think of another one, so you just get 10. So just a nice round number to work with. And you say, okay, these are my top 10 strengths. And they might, for one of them, you might have just one line, and then for another one, you might have several descriptions of it. And you just sort of work with that so that the top 10 is just a pretty common, you know what you mean when you see the top 10, and you have them listed there, maybe on one page, or maybe if you elaborate on them, it's going to take a lot more pages than that. But anyway, the idea is to get just a few that you really are clear about, and you elaborate them enough so that you know for sure what you're meaning by them, and now you have them, and it's just a top 10, and that's just a goal that means you've come a long way in this process, and you have them, and that's a good thing to start to have, and then we move on. You keep working on it. You keep evolving after that, but that's just a goal to work toward, and so that's what we like to have you do. Just keep doing steps 1 and 2, and articulating strengths and putting them out, so forth. And when you have quite a few of them, put them together in this, so it's kind of a coherent list of them, and then you're ready to go ahead and continue the practice. That's it, basically.
That's right. You continue evolving and clarifying the practice as a lifestyle, as a new way of thinking, and a new way of engaging with your mind when your mind is troubled, and a new way of thinking of yourself. What an accomplishment it is to have a top 10 positive attributes list. These are the things I like about myself. That's a great goal to have, and to keep evolving it, because you keep changing. You keep changing, so you want to keep paying attention to what you're good at now.
That's right.
What you like about yourself now. All right. Is there anything else?
Well, I just wanted to stress again that last thing about continue. We see this as basically a lifetime practice. Because I'm first in my 80s, and I have been doing it for a while, and I've changed in these years that I've been doing this, and I really and it isn't as if I'm a completely different person or anything like that, but I had just gradually changed, and doing this process over the years, you'll see yourself changing too, and you notice how you change. And that's important, because we aren't the same person the whole lifetime. We are constantly changing. So that's the idea of this, to keep doing it and keep in touch with where you are at the present time.